Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I nostri programmi sono offerti in molte lingue. Consultate suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Verily, all things move within your being in constant half embrace. The desired and the dreaded, the repugnant and the cherished, the pursued and that which you would escape. These things move within you as lights and shadows in pairs that cling, and when the shadow fades and is no more, the light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light, and thus your freedom, when it loses its fetters, becomes itself the fetter of a greater freedom. Please continue watching to find out more.
Warm greetings, spiritual viewers. My name is Majida. The blessed Lebanese people truly appreciate such wonderful people as you, and we send you our sincere well wishes for a meaningful life. Born in 1883, Kahlil Gibran was an enlightened Lebanese philosopher, author, poet, artist, and mystic who immigrated to the United States when he was young. As a writer, he inspired a transformation in Arabic literature with his simple and direct style, as well as his choice of highly relatable themes. Perhaps surprisingly, some of his best-known works were written in English and achieved popular acclaim among many American readers. Published in 1923, The Prophet became Kahlil Gibran's most famous work. This book, comprised of 26 poetic essays, was begun while he was still a youth in Lebanon. The Prophet made Kahlil Gibran one of the best-selling poets in the world. Its inspirational words have been quoted in various books and are still cited widely today for their uplifting wisdom and clarity. In a 1991 lecture given in Taiwan, also known as Formosa, Supreme Master Ching Hai read passages from the Prophet and revealed that Kahlil Gibran was not only a gifted poet, but also an enlightened master.
是一位名是从阿拉伯过来美国的，他写得很漂亮啊，他的文笔啊非常美，他把我们要讲的东西啊集中起来，然后表达得非常明白，有小话，不过多义啦，很漂亮。他走了以前呐，意思说他去涅槃以前，他的徒弟们，他徒弟们呢就合起来啊，问他一些最后的问题呀。不过这个人好像他很懂啦，很开悟啊，徒弟当然不多，不过很开悟。
Today, we would like to share with you the following excerpt from The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. Laws. Then a lawyer said, "But what of our laws, master?" And he, Gibran, answered, "You delight in laying down laws, yet you delight more in breaking them. Like children playing by the ocean, who build sand towers with constancy and then destroy them with laughter. But while you build your sand towers, the ocean brings more sand to the shore. And when you destroy them, the ocean laughs with you. Verily, the ocean laughs always with the innocent. But what of those to whom life is not an ocean, and man-made laws are not sand towers, but to whom life is a rock, and the law a chisel with which they would carve in it their own likeness? What of the cripple who hates dancers? What of the ox who loves his yoke and deems the elk and deer of the forest stray and vagrant things? What of the old serpent who cannot shed his skin and calls all others naked and shameless? And of him who comes early to the wedding feast, and when overfed and tired goes his way, saying that all feasts are violation and all feasters lawbreakers. What shall I say of these save that they too stand in the sunlight, but with their backs to the sun? They see only their shadows, and their shadows are their laws. And what is the sun to them but a caster of shadows? And what is it to acknowledge the laws but to stoop down and trace their shadows upon the earth? But you who walk facing the sun, what images drawn on the earth can hold you? You who travel with the wind, what weather vane shall direct your course? What man's law shall bind you if you break your yoke, but upon no man's brazen door? What laws shall you fear if you dance but stumble against no man's iron chains? And who is he that shall bring you to judgment if you tear off your garment, yet leave it in no man's path? People of Orphalese, you can muffle the drum, and you can loosen the strings of the lyre, but who shall command the skylark not to sing? Freedom. And an orator said, "Speak to us of freedom." And he answered, "At the city gate and by your fireside, I have seen you prostrate yourself and worship your own freedom, even as slaves humble themselves before a tyrant and praise him though he slays them. Ay, in the grove of the temple and in the shadow of the citadel, I have seen the freest among you wear their freedom as a yoke and a handcuff, and my heart bled within me, for you can only be free when even the desire of seeking freedom becomes a harness to you, and when you cease to speak of freedom as a goal and fulfillment. You shall be free indeed when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound. And how shall you rise beyond your days and nights unless you break the chains which you at the dawn of your understanding have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard that you may become free. If it is an unjust law, you would abolish that law was written with your own hand upon your own forehead. You cannot erase it by burning your law books, nor by washing the foreheads of your judges, though you poured sea upon them. And if it is a dispute, you would dethrone. See first that his throne erected within you is destroyed. For how can a tyrant rule the free and the proud, but for tyranny in their own freedom and a shame in their own pride? And if it is a cur you would cast off, that cart has been chosen by you rather than imposed upon you. And if it is a fear, you would dispel. The seat of that fear is in your heart, and not in the hand of the feared. Verily, all things move within your being in constant half-embrace, the desired and the dreaded, the repugnant and the cherished, the pursued and that which you would escape. These things move within you as lights and shadows in pairs that cling. And when the shadow fades and is no more, the light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. And thus your freedom, when it loses its fetter, becomes itself the fetter of a greater freedom. Joyful viewers, we appreciate your lovely company on Poetic Essays from the Prophet by Kahlil Gibran, Part 2 of 2, Laws and Freedom, and Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is Friends of Eternity, a special gathering with Supreme Master Qinghai and cherished artists, Part 14. Right after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. May the marvels of the world remind you of our steadfast and ever-present connection with God.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.